Oh, so busy guy. Okay, good morning, everybody. We are on Baruch Hashem connected. Welcome those are on Facebook, those are on YouTube, those are on Zoom. We are holding, let's continue learning. We're holding on chapter 22 in Tanya. And the Alter Rebbe over here is explaining the concept, a very deep concept in the Chassidut, the aspect of Tzimtzum, the concept of the contraction that God did for the creation of the world, and for everything that comes in the world comes al dei Tzimtzum, through the concept of this contraction, which the Alter Rebbe, there was a very big debate in his days. What is the concept of Tzimtzum? What is this aspect? Does as expression express Tzimtzum Pshutai, does it mean that God separated himself from the world totally? And there are great sages who held that God separated himself from the world. You say it in your Hallel every time. You say Hallel, Hashemayim Shamayim Lashem, va'aretz nasan livnei Adam. The heavens are for God, and the earth is for man. So God separated himself from the world. The heavens and the earth are two different entities. God is in the heavens, and the earth is a wild place. It's the Wild West. The Alter Rebbe said, "Chas v'shalom, you can't learn that way. Tzimtzum Pshutai, you cannot learn that it was actually a contraction. It means a concept of a hiddenness, that God hid himself from the world, and that's Hester. Astir, as the expression the Torah says, "Vanechi astir es panei." I will hide my face. I will hide my face. It means there is a concept in life that the Eibush has a face-to-face relationship, right? Yisa Hashem panavei lecha is a face-to-face relationship, and there's a concept of lakim achedim that you have, that God has a hidden kind of a relationship with humanity. And ultimately, this tzimtzum, this concept, this contraction is ultimately a good thing for humanity, right? Because it gives the capability for human self-development. If God would reveal himself, then you would be bottled, you would be nullified your existence, as the Alter Rebbe said in Tanya today, the daily Tanya, that in essence, by revelation, then everything is bottled to its source. Everything is nullified to its source automatically. It's nullified to its source because that's when the source is revealed. Then there's nothing else but its source. Ein oid mavade. There's nothing else but its source. When a person gives a person the capability to feel independent from its source, when the source is hidden, not that the source is not there, that would be a lie. When the source is hidden, it gives the capability for that it gives it existence. It gives the capability for the thing that it gives existence, the concept of independence, to feel independent at least. In reality, it's no independence because it cannot exist without the source, but it gives you the capability of feeling independence, right? So even in the concept of your soul and your body, you don't feel your soul, because if you felt your soul, then you would live a soul life totally. Not because you wanted to live a soul life, but because that will be the reality. If your soul is revealed, finish, you're living a soul life. How you can live but a soul life? Because the truth is revealed. When the truth is revealed, it's hard to deny it. It's hard to challenge it. When we live in a world that the truth, the olam, a world where the truth is hidden, so to say. So now we can have many truths. Everybody's fighting their own truth. What is the truth? Even Yiddish guy, we argue. What is the truth? What is true? What's not true? This guy says it's more true. I'm less true. You're a faker. I'm the real thing. And we can debate this layla vad. And until the truth is revealed, we're all in denial. We're all living a life that we think is our truth. Therefore, but that's a wonderful thing, right? Because everybody should come. There shouldn't be coerced religion. Everybody should come to the truth through themselves, through their own identity, through their own beauty. Yeah. So the Mishnah says, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi said, That what is the derech yishara, for example? What is the right way to go? What is the normal way to go? Kol sheitferes le'isel. That a person takes the beauty that he has and finds the truth. Doesn't find the truth to somebody else's beauty, somebody else's goodness, somebody else's character. The Eibishter gave every person his character. You're good and you're bad and everything else in it. The good and the bad and the ugly. He gave it all to you. And he said, now, find the emes. Right? Don't find it through somebody else's character. Because you can't be somebody else. Right? Baruch Hashem. Thank God. So the Eibishter created the world. That's why God said he created the world through speech. Dibur. Dibur is speech. You have machshava, right? We learned in Chassidus, we learned in the beginning of Tanya that you have a soul and you have levusha and neshama. You have the garments of the soul, right? So if you tell a person you have a soul, what's a soul? What's a soul? I mean, what's my soul? I don't know. I cannot. It's a spiritual thing. So how can you even explain a soul? How do you explain a soul? What is exactly a soul? So therefore, Chassidus explains, the Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya, you want to know the soul, you have to know the garments of the soul. Right? The garments of the soul. The garments of the soul expresses the neshama, expresses your soul. So what are the garments of your soul? Machshava. First thing is machshava. The thought, your thought. Your thought garments your soul. The way you think is the way you're garmenting your soul. Is the way you're garmenting your soul. If you're gonna think holiness, you're gonna think positive, you're gonna have a positive thought. Your soul garments itself in positivity. What's the next step? Dibur, speech. So the way you speak is the way you garment your soul. How do I know what your soul is? How do I know my soul, what a soul is? The way I think, the way I speak, and ultimately Maisa, the way I do. That's the way I know my soul. That's levush and neshama. Without these garments, what do I know my soul is? That's why people can go throughout their life. They never knew they had a soul. They never had a machshava. They never had any thought in this concept. They never had a speech. And they never did an action. So they have a neshama, but the neshama is like non-existent. So they have a neshama. So you have a soul. Yippee-doo. What did it help you? What did it help humanity? So you're a neshama, very good. You're good. That's all the good thing. The Eibishter gave you a neshama. That God gave you souls. Taka, unbelievable thing. You're a yid, but without the levush and neshama, without the garments of the neshama, what do you have? How do you express the neshama? How do you know what a soul is? Forget about how does somebody else know what my soul is? How do I know what my soul is? I need Pashit to God with my neshama. And what's the most important thing the Alter Rebbe says? Is your thought. Is your thought. Zekal Adam. Is your thought. If I can make my thought positive, if I can make my thought holy, then I'll have an unbelievable life. Then I'll have a holy life. Because that's who I am. If I can say things that I don't mean, I can do things that I don't mean, but I cannot think things that it's up to really what makes me is the way I think. What my thought is. Do I have holy thoughts? Do I have godly thoughts? Do I have animalistic thoughts? What's my thought? What is really my thought? That's the garment. That's the real garment of the soul. It says in the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos, it says da ma'ala ma'ila mimach. It says. Rebbe says the same thing. If he says that you should pick a leisel, he says da ma'ala ma'ila mimach. There's a lot of interpretations in that word. Da, know what's above you. I mean, the simple meaning is know that God's above you. Da ma'ila, but Chassidus explained da ma'ala ma'ila. If you want to know what's above, it's mimach. It's from you. Everything is, if you want to know what's truly spirituality, what's God, it's mimach. You can find it from you. It's within you. You don't have to go far. Da ma'ala, know what's above is mimach, is from you. What does that mean? Ayin roya. So the Mishnah continues. Ayin roya, the eye that sees. Oizen shamas, there's the ear that hears. Every action is written in a book. So what is the meaning? What's an ayin raya? Ayin raya is the eye that sees. It means the thought of your mind. You have to be able to see the thought of your mind. The Eibishter surely sees the thought of your mind. God surely sees the thought in your mind. But you should yourself see the thought of your mind. If you want to see Lamaila, if you want to see spirituality, be an ayin raya, be an eye that sees what you think. What is your thought? The way you look at things is the way you think. So if you're going to look at a person that looks at things in a positive way, because he thinks positive. That's why a tzaddik sees everything positive. He looks at everything. That's why a tzaddik ultimately turns bitterness into sweet, because he sees everything as sweet. Even the bitter thing, he sees it in his machshava. He has the capability to take every negative thing and transform it into a positive in his thought.
What is machshava?
Thought. I can take every negative thing and I can think it. I can change it into a positive in my thought for sure. Because thought is much more spiritual than speech and action. So I have the capability in my machshava, is solely in thought, to be able to transform everything into positive. That's a tzaddik. He changes v'choshech la'or. He has the capability, transformation, darkness into light, and bitterness into sweet. Why? Because he thinks that way. A righteous individual thinks that way, which truly we should all think that way. We should be able to look at everything negative and in our thought, transform into the positive. And Oizen Shemas, what you talk, your ear hears what you talk. Now, Beinani is the Beinani is in thought, speech, and action. No, that's only tzaddik does. The Alter Rebbe, only tzaddik can transform darkness into light. We have the capability of in thought, speech, and action to change it, but not in reality. In reality, you can't change. Only a tzaddik can transform the world, change negative into positive. Tzaddik gives maybe the capability for each, and it inspires us each also to be able to have that kind of a feeling. But really, that's the avodah of a tzaddik. The avodah of a tzaddik, the Alter Rebbe says, is transformation of good into evil. I mean, evil into good. The Russia transform good into evil.
Oh, good. This is my job. I'm a Benoni, hopefully. No. And I'm supposed to be bringing light, darkness.
Yeah, you're bringing light into the world. But lav dafka transformation of evil into good. Or bitterness into sweet. That is avodah of a tzaddik, total transformation of bitterness into sweet. Or good, or light, darkness into light. That's not the avodah of a Benoni. The avodah of a Benoni is to bring light into the world. What happens, happens. But not his avodah. What? What is it? What does it mean? That there can be bitterness in the world, there can be negative in the world, there can be negative in my existence, but I just challenge it. I take it as a challenge. I don't fall into the negative. The negative is a negative. I don't fall into the negative. I handle the negative. That's it. I deal with the negative.
Like this pain.
The pain, but I deal with it. I need to transform the nest. I need to change a negative into good. No, a tzaddik can do that. I need a tzaddik to transform. That's why I go to a bracha for a tzaddik to transform that the operation that I need will go away. So Beinani does the operation and he goes through it, and that's it. That's life. You have to go through the pain. No pain, no gain. So, but a tzaddik has the capability to get rid of the operation. That's it. He gets rid of the operation. There's no need for any operations. I've transformed the negative into good. Finished. That's a tzaddik goes HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mekayim. Tzaddik makes a rule. What?
Where can they find it? Wait, so
That's no. Yeah, that's why he's a tzaddik. He's a tzaddik. The tzaddikim.
Are you saying that the tzaddik can actually change the reality?
Yeah.
But the Benoni
Can't change it.
bring light
in the reality.
In the
into
decree.
reality, but we can't actually transform
Lav dafka.
the need for the
Lav dafka.
operation or the whatever it is that's
Right,
negative.
correct. Lav dafka. Lav dafka. We can change. Not always you can change the reality. We can't. We don't have the case, but we could change our reality. That means even though the reality is like this, but we change our personal reality.
That's
And
exactly-
that's a baby. You can change your own person. You can think very good. You can say, you know what, I'll go through it. It's life. I will survive. B'me'ezat Hashem, we will be successful. That's the Rebbe says differently. Two sages. One said Gam Zula Tova, this is good. That's a tzaddik. This is good. Rabbi Akiva, who's Baal Tshuva, said, Kol Mada'ava Tav Da'ava. Whatever God does is for the good. So that's a baby. It says whatever God does is for the good, even though this tzaddik, that's what the Eibishter wanted. That's we have to handle. But a tzaddik says no. This is good. This is not bad. This is good. This is gewaltig.
Could you give us more examples? Not quite grasping this.
No, Yechish Gamzu, Gamzu l'teva. That's the expression. This is good. There's no such thing as bad.
Right.
That's it. That's a tzaddik. There's no such thing as bad. That's it. That's not us. I don't think so.
That's like the scene in the treasure chest.
Right. So he said, Gamzu l'teva.
And you think
This is good.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It ended up good. It was arrows.
No, it is good. Not it ended up. That's different. Not it ended up. That's not a tzaddik. Ended up. A tzaddik says this is good. Not that this is bad, but it ends up good. No, because the sand, you needed the sand. The sand turned into spirits. So this is good.
How is Hamas good?
Okay, I'm not a tzaddik.
Oh.
So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm not a tzaddik. That's not my avodah. My avodah is not to be a tzaddik. My avodah is to overcome Hamas.
We knew he was coming because
What?
of Mashiach times.
Do we have that? Okay.
No, because that again is Mashiach times. Again, not this is good. That's Mashiach is coming. That's for the future. Or whatever. The future could be in 10 minutes, but still, it's not right now. Gamzul Teva means this is good. That's it. At this moment, it is good. Not that it's going to be good. It'll turn out good. This is good. You have to be at a different state of mind to have such a kind of situation. You can't fool yourself to say this is good when you don't have that kind of feeling. So to say this is good, anybody could say it. To hate, I can also say it. This is good. You don't know, but in my mind, I know it's not good. But a tzaddik in his mind is good. Not that he always says it's good. Itaka believes it's good.
We strive to think like a son.
Yeah, but don't fool yourself. You can hurt yourself in that. Okay, you can also hurt yourself in that. You have to be careful. You have to, because it's not good, and then you have a rifyon, then you have a negative feeling, and then you start feeling yourself like not a real person. That's why you have to be careful. You have to be careful. So you have to deny yourself. You don't have to fake yourself. You have to know this is whatever. It's going to be good. That's why I say it's going to be good. This is bad, but it's going to be good. It ultimately will work out. Whatever the Eibishter wants, will ultimately work.
Somebody who has complete control over his
Well, thought, speech, and action, but he doesn't have control over reality. He has control over himself.
So he knows he doesn't need to control reality because he
Right.
can himself.
So he needs to control himself. That's it. A tzaddik controls reality. That's the difference. Tzaddik goes HaKadosh Baruch Hu Makayim. The tzaddik controls reality. But a Beni doesn't control reality. He doesn't control. He controls himself. He needs to control himself. That's the way of a Beni.
Somebody who always
So-
has Torah on the mind, always.
He has the right. He makes sure that his soul is front and center, and therefore his machshava dibur meiser front and center. And that's the avodah of a Beinoni. It's not the avodah of a tzaddik. The Alter Rebbe writes, you don't have to feel bad not having that avodah. Because that's not your service in the world. That's not your service to change the world. Your service is to change yourself. That's it. That's more than hard enough. So the service is to change yourself. So you could change yourself. That's what the Alter Rebbe says. You shouldn't think that you can't change yourself. Most people think they can't change themselves. Forget about the world. They can't change themselves. They were given certain character flaws, and they'll never change. Comes the Alter Rebbe and says the opposite, right? You could change your thought, even though you can't change reality, but you can change the thought. Therefore, it'll ultimately change your reality. Because if you can change your thought, you can change your reality. So you're just like a tzaddik in a way concerning your reality. You could change your reality.
So
You might not change the reality out there, but you can change your reality.
so your thoughts, your actions, and what you say is your
Personal
is
reality.
your personal
Your personal
which
reality.
makes your personality.
Cool.
Your personality creates your personality.
Very good. So you can change. But what the point over here is you can change your reality. Just like a tzaddik can change the world, you have to change your world, which is yourself. And you can change your world. And if you don't change your world, that's your problem. But it doesn't change the fact that every person has the capability to think different, to speak different, and to act different. There's nobody in the world who can force you to think different. Nobody in the world. Even if you're forced to say things that maybe you think you're forced to say things, you're forced to do something, but nobody can force you to think something. Because nobody can have it unless you're brainwashed. But nobody can force you to think something.
Was Rabbi Akiva a tzaddik?
Rabbi Akiva became a tzaddik, but you understood that Rabbi Akiva understood the avoid of a Beinoni. That's the point. So that's Rabbi Akiva spoke to the Beinoni. Rabbi Akiva did become a tzaddik. But Rabbi Akiva understood the avoid of a Beinoni. The Rabbi Nachum Mishkan Gamzu was never a Beinoni. He was always a tzaddik. And therefore he didn't understand the avoid of a Beinoni. He understood the avoid of a tzaddik. Gamzu Teva. This is good. Not it's going to be good. Hopefully it'll be good. Surely be good. It is good.
So revealed good and unrevealed good, where does that fit in here?
We're all hoping for the real good. We're not hoping for the unrevealed good. The unrevealed good could be unrevealed for how long? We can go through life unrevealed
It's like,
good.
if you're saying nothing's by its side, nothing's actually bad, right?
Right? It's good.
So I'm asking you, how does that, is it by its tzaddik, is there unrevealed good, or is that just by a Beinoni?
No, but tzaddik is no such thing as unrevealed good. Everything is revealed. Everything is revealed. A tzaddik sees everything as good. There's no such thing as unrevealed. By a Beinoni, there's unrevealed. I believe that there's a hidden good.
That's a Beinoni way of thinking.
Yeah, I did a hidden good. Thank you very much. That's the Rebbe would always say. We need to see good. Lamatim asara tefachim. We need to see good under 4 tefachim, which is under 4 feet, 5 feet. We don't need to see good lamaila. Oh, that is always good. This is good. It's good. It's spiritual good. I don't know. Well, that's good. I need to see good in the physical world. So that's all we need. We need to have good in the world.
Right, but there's all this suffering, so.
That's
the
it.
only
So
thing
that's
that
it.
makes any sense to me is that all that suffering is unrevealed good, if everything God does is
You're right.
good.
That's a bait. It's unrevealed. But I'm not interested in unrevealed good. I'm not interested in unrevealed good. I'm interested in seeing the good. I'm not interested in unrevealed good.
Good and
No, I need to first work on myself
So
to have
COVID,
everything.
So the tzaddik sees COVID totally good.
Correct.
We have to see the good within it.
Right.
See that it
Or work
created
through the
Zoom,
good.
that it created
Yeah. But it's ultimately not good.
family.
But ultimately, it's not a good situation. Thousands of millions of people died. So how do we see the good?
then how
It's
does-
very
how does the
different.
tzaddik see that?
Just an example, yeah.
Again, I'm not a tzaddik. I can't answer the question.
He sees the underlying reality.
What?
He sees the reality, the real reality underneath all that.
Tzaddik sees like the Eibush sees it. The Eibush, everything is good. Ain't now Yedel Mamayla, the Gemara says. Nothing negative comes from above. How God sees everything. He sees everything as good. How does that work? I had no.
There was purpose
But
in
by God, everything is good. So the tzaddik sees the
There's
way
purpose in
the
everything that happens in this world. When we see Hashem's hand, the Yad Hashem, then it gives us comfort, even though we may not understand it. Yes?
Yeah. The question that Moshe Rabbeinu, that Avraham Avinu asked the Eibush to scream at God, that what are you doing, right? What are you doing in the world, right? Screams at the Eibush, tzaddik and Rashid, you're hurting the righteous and the wicked. This is the way the world. That's the way the world works. So that means that we scream out to God. Why is there? What's going on? Even though it's good. But the person sees tzaddik in the world. He needs to scream out. Why is there wickedness in the world?
What was it? What was Hashem's answer?
What?
What was Hashem?
Loi machshavesa machshaveseicha. My thought is not yours.
My what?
My
thought
is
is
not-
My thought is not your thought.
What?
There's something went around, this is the happiest moment of my life.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to, there was a rabbi who said that who wasn't well, and it went wild. I think he was, or a Jed man, an Israeli man, and you're supposed to think like that, that's the same thing,
All right.
right?
Yeah. I mean, again,
Like-
you have amazing people that say, you know, there are some, yeah, you have a lot of stories like that. I mean, yeah. So therefore, the truth is, the Torah tells you there's the way you think about yourself, and there's the way you think about others. Self-understood. When it comes to sickness of others, you should cry out for the. You should cry out for the and to heal them. When it comes to sickness of yourself, get up and do something about it. That's it. Stop scratching so much. Go out and do something with it. And that's what Eibishter wants. It's not easy, but you don't cry for yourself. You cry for others. But for yourself, go do something about it. Use out whatever you can do and do something about it. It's not an easy situation. But really, it's up to your machshava. Think different. Go out and start thinking different. You don't want to think different. That's your choice.
There are certain situations that call for crying,
Yeah, listen,
you know.
the
like-
biggest problem people have is in their thought, the way they think about things. There's no question about it. If everybody had a positive thought, we wouldn't have problems. Most people wouldn't have any issues.
What you
Some
said for
people
the
are mentally ill. They're incapable for them to think anything different. It's just not, they need a medication, need psychiatric help. I'm not talking about that situation. But
I'm
in
talking
general,
about-
people have that capability, mind to mind over matter, and
You're
to be
saying-
able to think positive.
And you're saying that you should cry for others, not yourself, and what I'm
Right.
saying is there are times that one needs to cry about themselves.
I agree with you also. You should
But it's
cry for
grief.
yourself too, but you shouldn't, the will's not coming to an end. And that's it. The will's not coming to an end. You need to cry out and say, okay, now what am I going to do about it? And what am I going to do about it? Well, how am I use out the negative to a positive? How could I use a negative to a positive? And that's thinking positive. How do I use a negative to a positive? The Rebbe would always say, a Jew doesn't ask why, he asks what. Why if you're going to scream why for the rest of your life, you're going to be screaming for the rest of your life why. You're not going to get anywhere with your whys. We need to know what to do with this situation. So the question is what? Cry out to the Eibishter, what do I do with this?
So
That should be the cry, not why. Why is the Eibishter is why? And the question is, I have to beg the Eibishter, well, what to do with this? How do I do the good thing? What do I do good with this?
crying is important, but not from hopelessness.
Well, that's a different
Not
thing.
from hopelessness.
That's a different thing.
Right. To cry from hopelessness, God's not in the picture. To cry from sorrow and say, Hashem, what do I do with this now? That's
Okay, beautiful.
productive.
Beautiful. Okay,
Yes.
beautiful.
I'm talking
Okay.
about crying from sorrow, from grief.
Yeah, so there is a concept of a daiga believer. You should cry out, and self-assured God is the one who gave you this grief. So cry out to God that gave you this grief, and but really to ask the question, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this? What do I do with this negative reality?
What does that mean? Like, let's say someone is sick.
Yeah, what do I do with this?
Taking care of their health.
What do I do? What do I do with it?
Like, what's the example? I'm not sure what you mean.
Take the famous rabbi who lives now. He has ALS. He's in California. He has ALS. He's Rabbi Horowitz. He's totally frozen from head to toe, and he's continuing giving out the unbelievable Torah with his eyes, and he's unbelievable, and he's unbelievable. Nobody should go through such a situation, but it's an inspiration to realize that you're far from his situation. And if he can take his grief and turn it into a positive thing, we all can take our griefs and turn it into a positive thing. And that's it. Is it terrible? Sure, it's terrible. But it's not, his life's not over. And he continues his life and his purpose in life. He continues it. And that's an unbelievable example. And again, nobody should be put through such a test in their life. But that's a person who's taken his negative and continued to do positive and didn't give up on his life. And that's it. So we have to learn how to take. I get his Dvar Torah. I signed up. I get his Dvar Torah every week. He writes a Dvar Torah. So it takes him hours and hours to write this his Dvar Torah every week that he writes. It's truly amazing that he can write this thing and come up with this thing while he's laying there and with his eyes. It's truly amazing. But that's a guy who, Rabbi Horowitz, Yitzi Horowitz. Yitzi Horowitz. He's an amazing guy. Unbelievable guy. So you have that kind of person, and you have that capability. Abishta gave you that capability, and that teaches me. What do I have? What kind of complaints do I have? I surely can use all my talents. Surely life's not over, and that's it. So that's it. So you can learn from an example, which is sad that Abishta has to give us these examples. So is that some people have to go through this today. They're God to give us an example of what it means to be happy with what you have, and not with what you want, but with what you have. And that's why the Mishnah says, "Eizu Asha Sameach Bechalkei." Who is a real rich man? Person who's given what his lot, and not what he wants to have, but what the Eibishter gave him. To realize that what the Eibishter gave him is what he needs and what his life should be. So. But it's hard. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. God should. That's why we pray that God shouldn't give anybody any kind of troubles and headaches and stomach aches and whatever their issues are, because most of us cannot handle it. It's hard for us to handle these things. That's the beauty of a tzaddik. That's why when we go to a tzaddik, he uplifts us from our worries, from our tzaddik. But the truth is, the Lubavitch Rebbe gave enough teachings and enough things to inspire us for a lifetime. You can read Positively Biased, read these books, learn the Rebbe Sichos. It's always uplifting. It's always positive. It's always, the concept of never thinking negative and never putting down oneself and never putting down somebody else, etc., etc., etc. Because that's what this generation needs. The Rebbe knew that this generation needs uplifting. To be uplifted. Not to be told negative things, but to be told positive things. And that's what Baruch Hashem we need to do. We need to do more. We need to have more positive in this world. Okay. So the Rebbe, going back to the Alter Rebbe, that's what when we're talking about. You look at the end of the chapter 21. You see the Alter Rebbe says, by the Eibush, there's no such thing as darkness. There's no such thing as darkness. There's no such thing. By us, there's a concept of darkness. By God, there's no such thing as darkness. Like the Eibush, everything is light. Everything is clear. It's in this world though you have the concept of darkness. So therefore, the Torah says that the Eibush created the world through Dibur. So Dibur is to thought. Dibur is chitzonius to thought. So that's why Tzidus, you learn that the Eibush created the soul through machshava, through thought, and that's why your soul is more spiritual, while your physical body was created through Dibur, speech. So Dibur is an outer expression. So it's chitzonius in comparison to your thought. Right? It's a vessel. It's like the vessel. What is the vessel of thought? Speech. So that's the vessel of your thought, is speech. And therefore, chachamim is zor b'divrechem. That's why it says that a person should be very careful with his speech. Because people can learn things from speech, or people can say things with their speech that can be negative. Chayim v'amavis biyad haloshen. Life and death is in the hand of the tongue. So you could say positive things, and you could say chas v'shalom negative things. Speech. So speech, the Eibishter created the world through speech. That's why the whole world is chitzonis. That's why the whole world is really a chitzon. The whole world is an outer expression. It's not really true. Because what is the source of speech? Your thought. If you had no thought, you couldn't speak. Your brain dead, chas v'shalom, you can't speak. So your thought is the source of your speech. And therefore, really, Just like the world, the source of the world is really this is really godliness. It's not the speech. It's the godliness itself of the God that is the source of the world. But the Eibush spoken speech, created the world through speech, and that's why the world is really a vessel. It's really a davar chitzon. It's an outer thing. It's an illusion. It's really a source of something else. Correct?
Didn't get catch it, sorry. I got the part about the.
That's something from something that comes from something else. In essence, then what is its true existence is something else. That's it. That's a simple analogy. If A comes from if B comes from A, so that means its true source is A, not B. We get lost into the B when really the B has no existence without the A, and therefore it's no true existence. B is really not existent because the true existence is A, and without A you don't have B.
You want to correct the way you speak, you first should correct the way you think.
100%. Yeah, because your thoughts of speech is thought, and surely action. If, as I said before, if you think different, if people would think different, they would do things different. They would say things different. They would do things different. We need to work on our thought. But ultimately, the Eibishter created the world, just like he created us. He created us pnimis and chitzenis. He created us also inner and outer. The Eibishter created the world, inner and outer. So the inner is hidden. That's the problem. The inner is hidden. The question is how much inner we want to reveal. How much truly inner. So really, if we want to have a positive outer, we need to work more on our inner aspect of life. And if we worked on our inner, we would have a better outer, but we don't like to work on the inner. We just want to have automatic inner. Good. And that's why the inner is more hidden than the outer. I could speak a lot. You don't know I could speak a lot. I could do a lot, but you don't know what my essence is. Right? You don't know people sometimes till something is revealed. Right? That's why Hillel warned people. He said everything that is ultimately needs to be revealed will be revealed. So be honest. You think you're fooling the world, ultimately everything that will be that has to be revealed will be revealed. It's a frightening statement of Hillel. So be honest. Work on yourself and be honest. So don't walk around with something hidden in the closet your whole life. Okay, let's learn. We never started anything. Chapter 22. Chapter 22. Yeah, since the Torah employs the human language, the word, dibur, the Eibishter created a word through dibur, speech of the omnipresence. It's interesting that the Torah says, "Vayidaber Hashem, Vayomer Hashem." The whole Torah. How many times does it say? And God said, and God spoke. What is this? What do you mean God spoke? God doesn't speak. He's God is infinite. It doesn't make sense. The concept of speech. Speech is a human term.
They said that God spoke.
God spoke. What does that
People
mean?
heard him.
Yeah, great. I heard him. God spoke. The people actually died when they heard him.
Right.
So that means you cannot hear God speak. So what is the meaning? These are human terms. That's what the Gemara says. The Torah talks in human terms. Even though to godliness, you cannot associate God with human terms. Because God is infinite and humans are humans. So God doesn't get angry, he doesn't get happy, he doesn't get sad. These are all human nature things. These are human characteristics. Human characteristics, again, are all outer expressions. Question is, your character, my character itself, is an outer expression. but who I am truly. What am I am truly? Who? No, I'm a soul. That's what he says. That's not human, right? I'm truly a neshama, which is not a human term. It's not a human concept. It's a spiritual concept. That's when we say the neshama is chesed. It's not a human chesed. The chesed of the soul is not a human chesed. It expresses itself in a human chesed. But chesed is above human, the concept of a human kindness. That's why a person should never end the concept of kindness. Why? Because it's not a human expression. I mean, it is a human expression, but it's not a human concept. The chesed, it's chesed of us. It's a chesed of Atzilus. That's where it is. That's where it expresses itself. Chesed of Atzilus is not the chesed in what we understand as chesed.
What's the difference?
It's a whole different world. It's a chesed that's above and beyond what you can imagine chesed is. Therefore, when you ask what a chesed, I mean, you can give 1,000 definitions to the chesed. Even as a human being, you can give 1,000 definitions to what chesed means. Chesed means money, chesed means help, chesed means kindness, chesed means good thought. What does chesed mean? Chesed is in everything. Olam chesed yibana. The whole world is chesed.
Who said that?
Torah says that. The world was created with chesed. So everything in the world is chesed. Because the truth is, everything is a chesed. You have a wall here, it's a chesed. Kindness. Everything is kindness. What is not kindness? Sun is outside, it's kindness. What's not chesed? What? Okay, Hamas, not chesed. So that's Gevura. That's Gevura. Wait, the Hamas is not good to their dogs? They're good, they also have chesed.
I don't think it'd be-
No, don't have dogs, right?
Probably not.
They're afraid of dogs. That's what they're afraid of.
Okay, you always have to bring up these things. Next. Whatever.
We're all tools in Hashem's hands.
Everything is chesed. Again, you're asking me a question that I cannot answer that question. But the Eibush says, "Ein na yelim amayla." Everything is chesed. I'm talking about the Eibush. That's why I'm telling you. You don't understand chesed. So that's my point. You actually, we don't understand chesed because we understand chesed as a human chesed. If you do something kind, you're chesed. That's why sometimes you're chesed, somebody else is not chesed. But you think you're doing chesed. But the person you're doing the chesed says, no, thank you. Thank you, but no, thank you. I don't like it, right? Don't give me that chesed. Right? Don't give me that chesed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting. Once
Bring it here.
one of the babe said, when a child, you give him a gift, he opens the gift right away. A child opens the gift right away. Right? An adult, you usually give him a gift, doesn't open it right away. Why? Because he savors first of all that somebody gave him something, so that's already a chesed, right? And usually when he opens the gift, he's not happy. Right? You gave me socks. Well, you gave me. This is what you gave me. This is the gift. Only 1 carat diamond. I deserve 10 carats. So we're not happy. We're not happy. So therefore, we're more happy receiving the gift, but lav dafka, we're happy with the gift. Right? So that's why. No, that's what it says. You say before. You say in the Dayenu. You say if God brought us to the Mount Sinai and didn't give us a Torah, Dayenu. That doesn't make any sense. What do you mean if you brought us to Mount Sinai to give us a Torah, Dayenu? How is that possible? You know what I mean? Why did we come to Mount Sinai? To look at a mountain? We came to Mount Sinai to get the Torah. So what's the meaning? Dayenu. So that's the point. If he brought us, he gave us a gift. We didn't open the gift yet. Dayenu, we're happy we're receiving a gift.
At that moment.
And then, no, the 7 days. The Abishah brought us to Mount Sinai on the first day of Sivan. He gave us the Torah on the 7th day of Sivan. So the first 7 days he came to the mountain. Wow, we're getting a gift. That's unbelievable. We're getting a gift. That's exciting. This is unbelievable. That will be enough that we received the gift. Now we got the Torah. Wow, what's the? I don't know. Everybody's complaining. I don't know. Do we like the gift? Are we happy with the gift? I don't know. That's why when we open up the gift as adults, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a couple little less. Maybe we'll be happy, but we're not so happy with the gift. That's the problem. That's why there's two concepts, right? We're happy receiving a gift. It's a beautiful thing to receive a gift, but not we're happy with the gift. And that's always happy with the gift. Because why? Because we think maybe we should have got a better gift. We should have got a more elaborate gift. Right. So it's interesting. By humans, it's more interesting the anticipation or receiving a gift. The thought, that's what we say, the thought that counts, right? Because we know that you're not going to be so happy with the gift. So we say to the person, it's a small token of our appreciation.
Really
Right?
is.
Right? A small token of our appreciation. Well, what do you mean? You didn't have it before. What's the difference, right? No, but you're already expecting the guy's not going to be too happy with what you're giving him, right? A small token of our appreciation. Yeah, it's the way humans are. It's an interesting thing by humans, right? You got something for free. Somebody gave you a gift. What's the difference? What it was? What's the difference? You got a gift. You should be satisfied. You should be happy. No. That's not the way we are. That's not the way we are. So
That's how we have to train
that's
ourselves.
why. Oh yeah, that's we're not who is a wealthy person is a person who's happy with what he has, which is a hard thing to have. That's why simcha, to be happy with oneself, is not an easy thing to accomplish. It's not an easy thing. It's one of the most difficult things that a person should be happy.
That part of the tiny joy is like the very, very important.
100%. That's why the Alter Rebbe wanted that he even shouldn't chas v'shalom be even spiritual unhappiness. People should be happy because if you're happy, then you'll have a different life. You'll be able to overcome all your challenges in life if you're happy. When you're unhappy, it's very hard to overcome anything in life.
It's true, like you say, if you do a mitzvah, the reason I'm doing the mitzvah or doing the mitzvah with joy, doing the mitzvah with happiness is like another level.
100%. It's like a different level. So it's like a different chesed. It's a different joy. It's a different mitzvah. That's why it says no mitzvah to be happy. No mitzvah in the Torah to be happy besides a yontiv. Torah tells you to be happy. There's no aveda to be depressed. There's no aveda in the Torah that tells you depressed. But without doing happiness, all your mitzvahs are diminished.
Doesn't it say?
And if you do all your mitzvahs with depression, then surely all your mitzvahs are diminished. Because a yid needs to be happy. It elevates the mitzvah. It's a whole different mitzvah. Yeah, it's a whole different mitzvah. Like I said before, chesed of a human being and chesed of chesed. True concept of chesed. That's why it says Avraham Avinu. Midas HaChesed, when Avraham Avinu did Chesed, Midas HaChesed came to the Eibush, said Avraham Avinu took away my job. Halavai, most of us can say that Midas HaChesed, the attribute of kindness, will come forward and say, "You took away my job." It's not. I didn't take away the Chesed's job, because all the Chesed I do is a human Chesed, and it's limited, and it's extremely not the concept of Chesed the way it should be, the way Chesed is Lamaila, where the attribute of Chesed is above. And that's why we pray for the concept of Chesed. We pray that the Eibush should give us the capability to do true Chesed. Not Chesed the way I understand per se Chesed is, very limited the concept of Chesed to the concept of what Chesed is. Because again, we have humanized the Chesed in a way because we call it Chesed. We gave it a name. That already diminishes the Chesed. Because now we know there's Chesed and there's the opposite of Chesed, Gevurah. which in the way it's above, there's no difference in chesed and gevura, really. The way it comes lamata now, the way it comes in this world, you put it in words. Chesed has a definition, and gevura has a definition, and they're opposites in the definition. In the encyclopedia, chesed is chesed and gevura is good. They're opposites, and some people could say, "I'm more gevura." Some people can ultimately say, "I'm more gevura." That's my nature. I'm more a gevura person. But really, in if you want to go to the essence of things, chesed and gevura are both chesed, and both gevura. They're intermingled. You can't separate the chesed and gevura. You cannot in lamaila, in spirituality, the way chesed is in Atzilus. In the world of Atzilus, there's no definition that there's a difference between chesed and gevura. But chesed does its purpose, and gevura does its purpose, and it's all for good. Self-understood. It's all for the service of God, so it's all good. But self-understood, you need to have both of these entities for the good. So it needs to be kindness, it needs to be respect for the good. Imagine you had kindness without respect. What would be the kindness? It would be valueless.
We need the boundary.
What's the definition you're using for gevura?
Respect, I use that definition of
But
respect.
That's the opposite, respect is the opposite of chesed?
Yeah, because chesed is the concept of taking in, and gevura is the concept of giving the other person his space. That's respect.
It's boundary.
Giving the other person his respect.
It's boundary, because
Gemara gives example. The Gemara gives a simple. What would a father like that a son who gives him a 10-course meal and throws him the meal, or gives him bread and bread and water and hugs him and gives him what would the father want? What? The second, self-understood. Why? Because he gave him respect. He gave him something to eat, chesed, but he did it with respect. The other one gave him an 8-course meal, unbelievable chesed, but he gave him with disrespect. So what what's the 8-course meal? What the father really wants to say, he needs the food, he needs the chesed. No arguing with that. He needs the chesed. You're not going to give him the bread and water. He's not going to have chesed. He's not going to survive. So he needs the chesed. He needs the chesed with respect. It's more important to him. He needs the scholars of chesed and gevura. In humans, we need to learn the scholars, the mixture of chesed and gevura, because they're the same. They're both chesed. Because respect is also a chesed. I'm giving you your space. That would be the way. Yeah, give him the 8-course meal with the hug.
8-course meal, asking you beforehand, what would you like me to cook for you? That's the respect.
Okay, whatever it means. Whatever. We need respect. We need to love each other. We need to respect each other.
That's the purpose.
And that's it. So we need to give each other our space. Their space.
but also chesed without limitations, which I guess is gevura,
Yeah,
is dangerous.
correct.
You could drain
Correct. So that means the gevura is chesed.
It is.
That's it. It's all chesed. So it's a mixture. But ultimately, you look in definition and thing, and the chesed and gevura are two opposites. And that's why it's hard to come together, because we've divided into two concepts. They're the same thing. They're really the same thing in just different words. That's it. Because both of them are the same thing. The concept of respect and the concept of kindness is the same thing.
In English, the opposite of kindness is unkindness.
Right. So that's what we call severity. That's why it's called severity. In English, gevura is called severity. So that's a problem. Because that's the translation. Because the second you give it a word, you got to give it a translation and finish. You got to give it a translation, like evil. You got to give it a translation. The translation sometimes is too graphic and it's too negative, and that's the problem. So that's a problem. That's the human problem. That's a problem with dibur. That's a problem with speech, because speech automatically diminishes the word. That's why Torah Shabbat Peh is so important. In a way, Torah Shabbat is even more. That's written is even harder. Something that's written is even harder to suddenly now explain. It's written. And so you wrote it. Oh, but I didn't mean it that way. But you wrote it. Oh, you're reading it wrong.
Well, that's subjective.
Right? But even in the Torah, there are things they say, oh, we're reading it wrong. An eye for an eye is not for an eye for. Why did you write it for? If you didn't mean it, why'd you write it? So you have these expressions in the Torah. We have to explain what it means. You wrote it. Why'd you write it? You wrote it.
What's the value of it?
So, right. Well, why'd you write it? Why'd you say a value of an eye? Why'd you write it? You didn't say that. It says an eye for an eye. So why'd you write it? People make a mistake, and people do make a mistake until today. An eye for an eye. Right? So why'd you write it? Well, why'd you write it? Okay, we're not. This is not the class, but the class is to show you that the Eibishter was afraid, so to say, of writing everything.
The first 10 commandments.
Because automatically-
Everything. And when we didn't do it properly, right, with the golden calf, then he said, I have to contract all that knowledge, and now you're gonna have to search out the meaning.
Yeah, but we're too lazy to search out the meaning. So we got too lazy. That's a problem. You have to search out the meaning. I'm too lazy. I read it, and that's what it says. That's what I do. So okay, that's the problem. The Sadducees argue with the Chacham argue with the Sadducees because they have a point in a way. They have a point. They're wrong, but they have a point.
The literal.
Yeah, they have a point. They have a point. But that's what the Eibishter wanted. The Eibishter wanted, because why? Because the Eibishter, God gave the Torah to humanity. And the Eibishter gave the Torah to human beings that have these two concepts of the outer and the inner. And are they going to look only at the outer, or are they going to look at the inner? In themselves, forget about the Torah. Are they going to look at the outer only? Or are they going to look at the inner? Are they going to look only what's written? Or what is it? Or are you going to look in the inner? Don't judge a book by its cover. Are you going to look at the Torah only in the outer way, or are you going to look at the Torah also in the inner way?
Same we look at people.
Exactly. So therefore, the Torah was written that kind of way. Therefore, the Torah was written for humanity. It was written for human beings. They're going to read something, and they're going to either read it A or they're going to read it B. And the one who comes, as the Torah says, as God says to Moshe Rabbeinu, if someone wants to come and make a mistake, let him come make a mistake. That's the point. I want a book that reflects humans. I want to tell you that it's going to change humanity. Not going to change it from above, it's going to change it from within.
So it wasn't just written for the Jews?
No, it was written for the world.
Can you say that again? The first 10 commandments, what was it? What did you just
So
say?
the first 10 commandments came down with all the detail, right, Rabbi? And
Yeah.
then the golden calf, and the dancing, and the breaking,
Right,
and then we had to wait till what now we call Yom Kippur,
right.
for the second set, but it was more hidden. It
Oh,
wasn't as, that's why the
So we had
Torah
to interpret.
is separate from the written, and that's why we get the Oral Torah, we have to fight and search and really.
Oh, that's very.
Yeah, but you're talking Torah Shebiksav and Torah Shebal Peh. I'm talking about Torah Shebiksav itself. So itself is a challenge.
Right.
But it shouldn't be a challenge to a Jew. It shouldn't be a challenge to a Jew, because a Jew understands that they have to look deeper. You have to look deeper, even though the verse doesn't go away from its simple meaning, but you have to look in the drush, medrash, so you got to go into the depths of the issue. You got to go into the depth. You just can't look at things at a superficial way. You need to also look deeper. So to yourself, you need to look deeper.
Jews look at it literally.
I understand. Humans want to come make a mistake. Let them make a mistake. That's what God said. So let them learn. The Torah is not a book that you're supposed to just read. It's a book that you're supposed to learn. Okay, so you should thrive and you should labor, toil in the ways of Torah. Knock your brains out. Exactly.
Which we do.
Exactly. Okay, let's finish a little bit more. It's like speech of a human being, for in truth is so, by the virtue of the descent of the flow of the life force to the lower planes by the means of many powerful contractions, the staples on the wrong side, the various kinds, page 92, in order that many diverse creatures be created from them. Indeed, so great and powerful are the contractions and concealment of the continents of God, that even unclean things, klippos, sitra achra, can come into being and be created. Everything, Hamas, correct. Everything can come into existence and be created, receive their life and existence from the divine word and the breath of his mouth, blessed be he. Everything, the good, bad, and the ugly, in the concealment of his countenance and by the virtue of the downward gradation. That is so self-understood in the concept of evil. The energy of God is very limited, extremely limited. Therefore, the klippos are called Elokim Achedim, other gods, for their nature and their life, the nurture and the life are not so-called the face of God, but are so-called the hinder part, acharayim, of holiness. Hinder exemplifies the act of a person giving something unwillingly to an enemy. Even he throws it to him over his shoulders, as it were, having turned away his face from him, since he hates him.
But he creates it anyway. Mhm.
So on high, the term continence exemplifies the inequality of the supernal will and the true desire in which God delights to dispense life in the realm of wholeness to everyone who's near to him. And that's why we dive into the Eibishter, Yisa Hashem panav elecha. I want a face-to-face relationship. So I know there's evil in the world. I know that God gives existence to evil in the world, and he gives existence to terrible things, terrible people, etc. But I want a face-to-face relationship. That doesn't change my personal wanting of having a face-to-face relationship to the Eibishter. And that's my avodah. That's my avodah. And as I say, we say that the Eibishter should get rid of his enemies.
We put on the film.
Right. The Eibishter should get rid of his enemies. Who is his enemies? Those who hate Jews. Rashi says, who is God's enemies? Those who hate Jews. Is his enemies. That's his true enemies. So that's our prayer. The Eibishter should get rid of enemies. His enemies. The Eibishter should get rid of every evil in the world. Because God needs to get rid of evil in the world.
But he could do it if he wanted to.
He can do whatever he wants if he wants.
Right.
God turns to me and you and says, okay, get rid of your evil. Get rid of your evil. Let's see. Can you get rid of your evil? Right? So that's our avodah. Our avodah is to get rid of our evil. And that's why the Rambam says that if that a Jew has to look like he can change the world, and if we can get rid of our evil, then the Eibishter to get rid of the evil in the world.
Mhm. That's a challenge.
But I'm always wondering about that. How many of us have to?
So therefore, the Mishnah answered that. Lama nivra adam yechidi. Why was a person created by himself? Because every person is supposed to say bishvili nivra elam. It's up to me. That's it. I can't look at somebody else. How many? Question is me, Zalman Bucket. Have I gotten rid of my evil from my existence? Not if you gotten rid of your evil, if he got Zalman Bucket. The whole world is waiting for me that I should eradicate my evil from my existence. It's a big responsibility.
Yeah, but theoretically, how many of us?
I don't know. That's $1 million question.
I know.
What's the question?
How many? She wants not many.
But
In other
no
words,
one's got in trouble for
50%
not getting
enough?
rid of, for not helping other
Now you
people.
sound like Abraham.
No, you should help other people. You should be good. You should have chesed. That's helping other people. That's if you don't help other people, then you have. But not your avodah is not to get rid of other. Your avodah is to be uplifting to other people. Other people can get rid of their evil. That's their avodah. My avodah is to try to help other people from eradicating their evil. That's my avodah. Not my avodah is to get rid of their evil. I cannot get rid of their evil. They have to get rid of their own evil.
You can inspire them to.
I can inspire them. I can give them opportunities, but I cannot change another person's evil. Every person has to change their own evil, and that's their avodah. So Noach didn't open up didn't go out there and opened up the opportunity for others to change. Just didn't do it. He just made him an ark, and he hoped people would get the message, but he didn't go out there and inspire. He wasn't a Chabadnik. That's the truth. Avraham Avinu was the first Chabadnik. He went out there and he changed the world, and that's it. So you have to. The question is, that's the question. The Rebbe screamed many times, like, "What is the Eibishter waiting for?" So many Yidden have done tshuva. So many Yidden have changed their lives. So many Yidden have done unbelievable things. And what is the Eibishter waiting for? I must say, enough is enough. I don't know what is God waiting for. What is the magic wand over here? What needs to be done? What needs to be done? So many people have done tshuva. So many people have come back to Yiddishkeit. So many people have done unbelievable acts of kindness. So many people have done unbelievable acts of heroism. So many people have done unbelievable stuff. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. We need Mashiach to come and transform the world. Almost we'll finish the chapter. But the Sitra Achra and unholiness is an abomination unto God, which he hates. And it does not give it its life and its inner will and true desire as he delighted in it. As he delighted in it. Heaven forbid, but in the manner of one who reluctantly throws something over his shoulder to his enemy. He does so only to punish the wicked and to give the goodly reward to the righteous who subjugate the Sitra Achra. This is why it's called the hinder part of the supernal world. So the Eibishter created all this evil that I should be able to get rid of evil. It's all for me. So therefore, what about Hamas? Someone book it. That's the problem. That's the problem. I need to do tshuva. I need to repent. I need to become better. And I need to change myself. And then you'll see that Hamas will disappear. So blame it on me. I wish you all a wonderful day.
What's crazy? Today is the 10th Shvat.
Right?
Today is the 10th Shvat.